Welcome, one and all, to Stone Soup Poetry. Thank you, new faces. Thank you, old faces, returning faces. Technically, it's the third Stone Soup open mic I've held this week. We kind of had too many open mics on Tuesday for the election night, and now we're coming back with a late, not really post-election open mic. May not be post-election until January, so we'll make it a tradition. It's the fourth monthly, not quite over post-election open mic. We'll figure it out. Eric Tate said he might be joining us, so I'm hoping that happens. And hopefully we'll get Jan and James to join us as well. So it's been a lot going on. I mean, I know a lot of people, including Trump supporters, have thrown in the towel on Trump's behalf to say Biden's going to be the next president. But if there's anything I've learned is not to underestimate anything, not to take anything for granted. There was an article saying, like, how did people underestimate Trump supporters? I'm like, speaking for myself, no way underestimated the Trump supporters. Everyone remembers 2016. It was 4 years ago. And Trump remembered it as well. So he was expecting a complete and total victory. Tuesday night, he was expecting to do his victory speech and go home. It was going to be his Generalissimo moment. He was going to have his white coat. He was going to have his white uniform on. The press would have had their front pages. Nancy Pelosi would have done something memeable and would have said, okay, we'll stand for the people no matter what. And that would have been it. Everyone would have had their moments. But Trump did not get that. So whatever the victory, we have the fact that he lost the popular vote in spades. We have the fact that he did not have as decisive a victory as last time, and he shut up for 48 hours. I haven't seen his press conference from earlier tonight, but the fact that we got him to do that and ruined his perfect moment, I will take that as a win. But I also take that as a warning that he's got to come back twice as angry, and even if he loses, he's going to be 20 times as mean. Think about the time when he didn't get the numbers he had for his inauguration, how he ran on about that, and multiply that by 1 million. If he wins, he's just going to act like he lost. But I'm glad that you guys did that. I'm assuming everyone here voted. Okay, I was about to say.
Voted by mail. You voted by mail early.
Yes.
Yep.
I voted in person early, and my props to the people doing the voting booths in Mattapan. I actually voted in my new hometown for the first time. And I'm glad everyone else did. I mean, I'm kind of amazed that so many people voted by mail after all the signs that may not work out. At first, I'm like, what are you guys, freaking crazy? But then I think of all the military people who have to vote by mail. It's like you can't, it's nice to know that something is still like relatively semi-sacred at this point. Unless you're a person who owns a fine in Florida, but baby steps. But enough of my pontificating. I'm getting into Dennis Miller. Look, I don't want to go off on a rant territory. And I don't want to ever be compared to Dennis Miller in my life. So let us go on with the open mic tonight. And for those of you who are watching us on the Facebook feed, or the Facebook live stream, welcome. And please join us. You can go to my page or go to the Stone Soup Poetry page, and the links and the information are right there. I got a waiting room at hand, so we should be devoid of any trolls. As a matter of fact, the Trump trolls have been very quiet for the last 2 days. Another blessing. Another huge blessing. So if you're interested, just join us on the Stone Soup website, or if you're friends with me, it should be at the top of my Facebook feed page. And more importantly, let's give some respect and some love and some ears to the people who are here before me almost. Let's welcome up the first open micer. He's been the stalwart. He's been, this is the second Stone Soup open mic this week. Let's welcome up John Wesick.
Okay, thank you. So here's a brand new poem. It's called A Taco Truck on Every Corner. And it starts out with an epigraph from Marco Gutierrez from Latinos for Trump. My culture is a very dominant culture, and it's imposing and it's causing problems. If we don't do something about it, you're going to have taco trucks on every corner. Taste the America that could have been, where brown hands and smiling faces save your late start morning with flour tortillas dripping in butter. Flavors and syllables roll off the tongue: chorizo, adobo, pico de gallo, carne asada, al pastor, huevos rancheros, chili relleno. Not on every block, but maybe every square mile, a Korean fusion truck with its K taco, bulgogi beef, kimchi, and sweet, fiery gochujang. Equality sets the best table. Pillowy Ethiopian injera, Vietnamese banh mi, melding Asian and European flavors on French bread, pad thai, chicken and waffles, the Cuban sandwich, gyros, baba ganoush, shawarma, sushi, tempura, General Tso's chicken. Did I forget Italy? Who can imagine our lives without pizza, lasagna, and Chianti? America, your banquet awaits.
Very nice. I just hope they have hard taco options. I know I'm lame, but that's what I hope for. And let's welcome up next on the open mic. Good to have you back, sir, Mr. David Miller.
Hey, thank you. Good to be back. Well, John, I've already had dinner, and that's a good thing, because otherwise I couldn't survive here. I'd have to go eat something. It's delicious poetry. So this one is a poem that is dedicated to anyone who does or has done telephone support. Contact us. Sir, thanks again for your patience with our standard unusual volume of calls. The voice you now hear, please be assured, is of a real person. That would be me, human, with viscera, dependence, and rent. Don't shout, sir. Let's knock down your problem. First, are you sure your mouse finger twitched on the link we told you to twitch? Not the one near it that's almost the same, but it's not. Inconvenience was caused. We are sorry. Please also be certain that you're at our news site, not the mothballed page. That scrambles everyone and I can't prevent it. What? Oh, you insist I explain what in the hell an autofill is. You don't understand gobbledygook. I hope you remember this call is monitored for quality purposes. I'm not allowed to betray what that means. What it means is how fast I ram through the queue of very important to us, despite your insistence I stay to rejigger your zeros and ones. Think about auto, sir. Imagine fill. Hope that helps. Say that again. Your shopping cart vanished. Don't use the left arrow. That's wrong. Click the back button. See the word back? I know. It's not shaped like a button. I can't tell you this. Quality purposes means I'm shackled by personal metrics like every valued associate. That means a full cupboard or empty. My lights on or off. House or no house. You're panicked? Who isn't near out of their mind?
Thank you, David.
Bravo, bravo.
That was awesome. That was so awesome.
Let us go now to the third person on the list would be Mary Susan. Mary Susan, are you available?
Hi. Yes, thank you. Hi. I haven't been to an open mic since the 90s, but I was great friends with Jack Powers and Julie Stone. and the whole gang from Charlie's Tap, and then we moved over to TT the Bears. But anyways, I want to, I'm going to read something that I read my first time at Stone Soup, if you don't mind, in memory of Jack. He was the one that encouraged me to read it. The Passenger. Slowly hands loosen, muscles collapsing against the train's lavender seat as the warmth of blood flows to tired legs and knees, tingling her feet, draining the knots in neck and shoulders, easing the pulse until all is lost. Empty now, empty now. No more wheels scraping iron rails or nerves, swollen eyelids closing, wet with visions too new to be nostalgic, turning steadily over and over with the clank, clank, clank of rusted dreams and broken promises, rattling memories of yesterday's sweet, sweet sorrows. Memories of a young girl, maybe 8 or so, with bouncing ponytails carved along a perfect path by a gray-haired mother's steady hand, and the tail end of the styling comb, neatly fastened with red bows to match the plaid dress white pinafore, neatly cuffed ankle socks and Buster Browns that some cousin had passed down, each paper stuffed shoe carefully placed, one foot in front of the other, one rail to the other, thin sun-tanned arms wiggling and jiggling, keeping the rhythm, keeping the balance of one too young to know where she goes or why. Trying only to go the distance, just one foot in front of the other, staring straight ahead, never down, never back, daring fate with arms crossed, brows crunched, closing out the trees, looming along the sides of weed-covered tracks where cargo trains once rat-a-tat-tatted and makeshift hobo homesteads still leaned with boxes stacked, hugging trash-fed fires to keep them warm, to keep them alive. When fierce nor'easters arrived, pushing their cardboard shanties closer to the city's edge, where factory horns blasted and leftover crumbs were tossed to any beggar's hand, or swooping beaks that scavenged the loading docks and corporate paved parking lots. Each young foot carefully crisscrossing dreams and rusted rail to rusted rail, with quickened steps and narrowed eyes staring straight ahead, never down, never back, just one foot in front of the other, listening for the distant rumbling of coach cars shackled by iron claws, clack, clack, clacking, grinding against the heated rails, nudging her drifting soul back to the cool dampness, slipping between the cracks of the train's leather seat, half awake, half asleep, wheels and rails, rolling and rolling and rolling, sliding far too quickly, past familiar fields and forgotten hills, sinking into the azure of the new horizon, squeezed tightly between each wrinkle, each line of face after face, painfully etched in crevices, long ago forged on the lens of her mind's eye, weaving back and forth, through trails of row houses, mounds of litter, whizzing past nightmares and frozen guilt, collected year after year after year, wanting only to return to ponytails, Buster Browns, and walks along the tracks, staring straight ahead, never down, never back, just one foot in front of the other, trying only to go the distance, keeping the rhythm, keeping the balance of one too old to know where she goes or why, just closing tired eyes, resting her head, waiting for the shrill of the train's warning whistle.
Hey. Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marion. Welcome back to Stone Soup.
Thank you.
And now for something completely different. And I can usually use that segue and mean it. Anytime I introduce any one of these people, Lee Lateef, Chris Robbins, neither of them are here tonight. So that just leaves Mr. Bill Lewis.
Well, I should be deeply honored if not feel so horrifically disrespected. I would never think that I would ever be in a position to be comparing my friend Chad Para, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Chad Stone Soup Chad guy. I mean, he's doing a Deej Miller. I mean, a Deej Miller. How could Chad be doing a Deej Miller? This is nuts, man. Why are you doing this? You started the recording too late. You didn't do live stream. You made me look a fool. I was trying to do something that would be entertaining, that people would appreciate, that they would say, oh, that's so, people on the live stream would come in and say, see, doesn't Chad do nice things? Aren't his friends having fun? But oh, no, no, not Chad. Chad has to make things difficult. So when you want to do things in a respectable fashion, you need to be served properly. When you need some tea, yes, that would be very nice. When you have spent as much time as I have trying to design something that is very nice, and oh, could I get some sugar, please? Yes, sugar. And to coordinate things so that a piece of, I consider it to be a piece of artwork. Because how many people do things like this? I mean, really, you know? And therefore, I think that it is essential that we should be careful and continue to appreciate fine artwork that is involved in coordinating such things. So I am very upset with Chad, and I have reprimanded him properly. Now that that's properly recorded, I mean, really, I worked hard on that. I expect you. La 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 la. Ba 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 ba. I smoked dope, but health was bad news, and my horoscope I spent age of smoking jays and roaches. Pot and weed is fine indeed, drives me very crazy. I love my ranges way insane, it makes me very lazy. But I love it because it makes me very horny. I scroll all night when I get tight. I know it sounds corny. I get these thoughts that really ought to come to nothing use, and yet I find it blows my mind. It's brilliant, and I'm useful. When I get stoned, I get a bone that drives my girlfriends wild. To look at me, most people would see a fellow, mild. I'll spend my days in a smoky haze. I'm laid back and I'm happy. So take a toke, you gentle folk. We'll dress up all quite sweet.
Thank you, Bill. As I'm here serving myself wheat thins and pub cheese, I will segue over to the next person on the open mic. And it looks like he knows he's next, or at least about to be next. Let's welcome up Mr. Ethan Mackler.
Thank you. This is In a Disused Graveyard by Robert Frost. The living come with grassy tread to read the gravestones on the hill. The graveyard draws the living still, but never any more the dead. The verses in it say and say, the ones whose living come today, to read the stones and go away, tomorrow dead, will come to stay. Tomorrow, so sure of death the marbles rhyme, yet can't help marking all the time how no one dead will seem to come. What is it men are shrinking from? It would be easy to be clever and tell the stories men hate to die and have stopped dying now forever. I think they would believe the lie.
Bravo, sir. Bravo. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce next someone who's been absent for a while. And it's great to have her back. Let's welcome up Blackbird. Quick reminder, Blackbird, you have to unmute yourself. For some reason, I can't mute and unmute people. I can only ask politely for you to unmute yourself.
Oh, okay, I got you. Can you hear me now?
Yep, absolutely.
Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
Good enough.
Yes. I know I've been gone for a while and I miss you all. All right, so one moment. Oh, and by the way, I did vote, but I didn't vote for either Biden or Trump because I don't trust any of those assholes. They're jackasses to me. So what I did was I wrote in that Dr. Shiva guy. So I wrote his name in. So just wanted to share that with y'all. Y'all don't seem too happy. Y'all don't sound too happy to hear that. But
Shiva will send you a card. Shiva will probably count the vote.
All right. So yes, I've been gone for a while because I had some personal issues that I needed to deal with, and with this coronavirus, I lost. She didn't die from it, but she did have pre-existing conditions before this whole COVID-19 came out. So it got affected with her health. So I lost my Jamaican mother a couple months ago.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh.
No, it's all right. So I've just been, and I was also in the middle of trying to see if I, trying to move, but with my circumstances, it didn't happen. And to be honest, I'm actually happy about that because the place where I live now is great. It's a nice place. So, but yeah, so I'm happy I'm staying and renewing my lease. So I'm excited about that because I know there's a lot of people that were affected by the COVID, especially some of my friends that lost their place. And so I'm just thankful and grateful that I have mine. So this poem is definitely relevant to not just, myself, but really to everybody. So, and as you know, I'm really more of like I am more of a spiritual person. So I don't really hold religion hostage like that. I'm not saying, to each his own. I'm not, everybody has their own preference, but for me, I identify with all of them. That's the thing. I identify with all of them. And so this particular poem is going to be kind of similar to Islam. So Assalamu alaikum means peace be with you. So just so you guys know. All right. It's called Mad. It's been a while. Okay, let me get myself together. Like Mr. Bill Lewis. All right. Okay. Mad world. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Peace be unto you. To those who have no peace within. I hope you find it soon. Your soul is deteriorating and diminishing from all the stories you've told, doing nothing but spreading lies, deceit, spreading hatred, jealousy. I'm talking about society. Always worried about others other than themselves, always following in others' footsteps, other than their own, found themselves going in circles, trying to keep up with the latest trend while I sit back, watching them, making a fool of themselves in this mad world that we live in. I'm just here, waiting for my children to come home, waiting to break free from this broken system we're living on. Live our lives, be happy. But they don't understand that because there is no love in their heart, just bitterness, hatred, closed-minded, too busy being caught up in this angry and fearful world that we live in, trying to keep up with the latest trend, mesmerized by the latest fake news, ignoring the real news. For example, like the high rising murder rates in the Black and brown community, either done by police or their brother, or like our mothers and sisters classified as whores or as our rapists walk the streets free, like Proud Boys. Our children disappearing one by one or abused, but this is America. Look what they're whipping up. They got us crazy now. Don't let them catch you slipping up. Don't let them catch you slipping up. Or you'll be the next hashtag gone viral. Because my love, unfortunately, this is America. All I want is my family, my peace of mind, my freedom. I just want to know, when will this madness end? Will it ever end?
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Blackbird. It's great to have you back.
Thank you for having me back.
Always. And let's welcome up next to the open mic someone else who I haven't seen for a while. She actually came back to Stone Soup via the online calls a while back, and it'd be great to hear her again. Miss Erin Gagnon. Oh, whoops, Erin Reardon. Right.
Oh no, I disappeared.
Erin Reardon, you're right here, and you're ready to go when we're ready when you are.
Sorry, my screen got all fucky for a second. I didn't think I'd be up that quick. Sorry. I don't have anything new because I haven't written anything new in a really long time.
Me and you both, girl, because that was an old piece that I did. So me and you both.
I feel like since like quarantine happened and stuff, I'm just like I should be being more creative, but no, not really. Anyway, this is called Italia and Moonlight. I'm only trying to protect a path of paramecia, downriver of your immaculate chastity, or perhaps my own fragility, since that is what you loved best, what you loved purest. The historical ramifications that one night or 20 years passion bottled up as microcosmic ships sailing in puddles of mutual despair, depraved. We yearned for innocence, but not so much that we were branded fools. We yearned for freedom like so many boxcar muses, until it left us rooted to an unavoidable collapse, a city never left though talked about. This is the future as I've always known it, in my soothsayer textiles, crystals, and my prettiest blue ribbons blanketed. You were the birth, the structure, and the Holocaust all in one neurotic breath. And if I'm the last of the great sentimentalists, then that makes you, Italia and Moonlight, plucked of your prizes, a stem floating along pools of my amethyst blood, where I drained you, where you will stay until the parasitic worms have eaten these poems away, until we are rendered impossibly loved in a kingdom of our own creation.
Yes, good to have you back.
Thanks.
And now, so I'm really glad to get back to, he is, I believe he's in the car. He had to go see his mother on the mother in the nursing home. But I'm glad he's back with us again. Again, this is the second stone soup of the week. We've been doing extra stone soups just for healthy relief from the pandemic and the election and anything else that might be happening. Let's welcome up Mr. Eric Tate.
Thank you, Chad. This one is in anticipation of Trump being banished from office here. Unprecedented that a reality TV host and self-proclaimed business tycoon could rise to the level of the greatest office in this land before Republicans hits their star to his overblown coattails. I very seldom heard the word unprecedented, but I venture to guess it's become one of the most used words of the past 4 years. Unprecedented that a presidential candidate could unapologetically conduct himself in the manner that he did on the campaign stage and still be elected president, not in spite of, but because of his bluster and bullying. Unprecedented, the leader of the free world could spew such hate. Unprecedented that kids could be kept in cages, some of them to die. Others, some 525 of them, will never see their parents again after being forcibly separated from them. Unprecedented that someone we trust to lead us would tell us so many lies. Unprecedented, someone from the party of Reagan would collude with Russia. Unprecedented that he would champion dictators. Unprecedented that he would cut out the middleman and rule by executive order. Unprecedented that an elected president would shit all over democracy, demonizing Democrats, discrediting the free press, dismantling government agencies from the inside out. Unprecedented for a president to work to actively undo any and all accomplishments of his predecessor with such surgical precision. Unprecedented use of social media to reach his audience, unprecedented denial of science, unprecedented trafficking in conspiracy theories, unprecedented disregard for the life of our planet, unprecedented disregard for the lives of his own followers. This is just the unprecedented tip of the iceberg. I'm going to make it a point to never use the word again. Instead, I propose a new word to be associated with Donald J. Trump from here on out. As the last of the votes are tabulated, fingers crossed, it looks as though we're finally through with him. After 4 long years, Donald J. Trump has been unprecedented. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Eric. And by the way, I didn't get a chance to get back to you from work, but the website you were asking about, I can send you all that information to. What was it called? New Pages Review? New Verse Review.
New Verse News.
Yeah, I tried sending some stuff to them. They like things very timely, so any of the pieces that you've read over the last couple of days, they'd probably like.
Yeah. No, I keep sending. I've sent stuff to them over the years, but I've never got anything in. I must have sent them like 20 different pieces over the years.
I sent them a couple this past month alone, so don't feel too defeated. I think
Well, you know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird with them. I mean, back in the Bush years, they must have published like 50 of my poems. No kidding. But no, lately I just haven't been able to get anything in them at all in the last 5 years. You know, they always respond real quickly, but I never get anything in anymore.
Well, now they don't even have a link there for like a submissions link or anything.
Oh, you
it's
just
up. It's
send
on
it
top of the
to-
page. I'll send
You
that.
submit your email. There's a thing at the top of the page. You send it to, you know, they tell you how to submit. And
That's
you-
right.
You send them an email. You put it in your. You know.
Oh, and while Stone Soup has been going on, I don't know if anybody's been watching, but apparently Trump had a press conference.
Yeah, I've been secretly looking at stuff like that. I've been looking at news. I can't
guess
help it. It's my second nature right now. It's a good thing that things are slowing down at work because I know that they might be anticipating another lockdown. But I've been told to carry around my paper saying I'm an essential. So we'll see what happens. I guess Biden's been taking the lead in Bellwether, Pennsylvania County. So
I heard that Trump was saying so many lies at the press conference that NBC finally just cut away from it.
about fucking time, in all honesty. But apparently the margin in Georgia is right now down to 3.6 thousand.
Wow.
So yeah. And as with my friend, my online friend,
Where? What state?
what's that?
What state is down?
Georgia, the margin is now lowered to 3.6 thousand votes.
Okay. So who's winning in Georgia again? Trump, right?
Well, Trump's still winning, but the margin of his lead's gone down to like 3.6 thousand. So
If Biden gets enough states, he won't need Georgia anyway, and it's going to be fine.
I know.
We're gonna be okay-ish.
We're gonna be okay, right?
Ish.
Right?
Ish. I don't think that Biden is the end all be all of anything, but man, just as long as we get the orange Fuhrer out of office, I think we'll be all right.
It's
We also have to be very careful too, because if you guys don't remember the conference when he was saying, oh, for the Proud Boys, or does he know about the Proud Boys?
Oh, I know.
And he was saying, stand down or stand by or some.
Yeah.
So it's like he's ready for war or something.
I know. No, he's trying.
And it's like we really, because you understand me as
I
a
understand.
person. We would be ready.
I understand.
We'd be
I
ready.
understand.
And I have white people in my family as well, so it's like
Yeah.
here.
These so-called militias that he's calling upon, which are really just like a bunch of white supremacist hate groups and not actual militias that he's calling upon, they don't represent all of us. I don't believe for a second that they represent
They
all
don't
of us.
represent all of you guys, and that's
Yeah,
why
they're
it's
hate groups. They're hate groups, and that's it.
Woo. And then also I heard about the militia.
Yeah, no, they're not militias. They're
But
white
these
supremacist
are-
hate groups, terrorist domestic terrorists.
Crazy.
We just want to have a
Call them
fancy
what they
name,
are.
basically. Fancy names. Yeah, it's just fancy names. You're right.
Call them what they are.
Hate miserable people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. They're miserable.
Yep,
Like they have nothing else to do but just have guns shooting around.
Yeah,
like, what's
no, I need to believe that they don't represent all of us at all, and
No,
I
they
don't
don't.
think that they
No,
do,
they
and
don't.
you know,
They
hoping
don't.
for the best. Like I said, I don't think that like Biden is gonna fix everything. There's so much that's so broken,
Cause
but
for the problem.
at least get this motherfucker out of there, and and we'll go from there.
the way I see it is this: everything now is run like a business in America. Like we basically had now
Exactly.
we have
It's literally
a shitty boss. For 4 years, we've had a shitty boss
pretty much.
that basically
Yep.
holds meetings on Friday,
Jeff fucking
all these
Bezos should pay
decisions.
taxes.
makes all these crazy decisions just as we're about to get out the door and be like, I want to go to.
And also wants to get praised for it too.
Right. But
Yeah, like I did all of you guys for you black people and for you women. I'm like, fuck out of here. Like, what did you do?
Thank you.
You don't speak for me, thanks.
But
The best you did for me was give me unemployment. Thank you. Thanks.
Cheers.
Thank you for that.
the funny thing is with Biden, I see him as like the boss that's basically so detached he falls asleep in his office chair, and then he has two uber competent people who are telling him, "Oh, I'll just take care of these problems while you sit back and sleep," and Biden will be like, "Okay."
Okay. So, Chad, you see how the world is like a business, right? Me, I see this as like The Simpsons playing. This is literally a movie of The Simpsons, like literally The Simpsons, the movie, for real. Because if you guys remember that episode when Donald Trump was in it.
No, I didn't.
But he ends up in a casket at the end of that. I'm like, my God, I hope that actually happens this time.
I was like, yo.
I would settle for handcuffs. He doesn't have to end up in a casket, but handcuffs would be okay.
I can't wait for this thing to play out. Oh my God. I'm just sitting here just like, I just need to get some more popcorn and then we're good.
Waiting.
If there's a steroid shortage, then Trump is done with. You know, if he runs out of steroids, if they're like, "Oh, sorry, we have to put a embargo."
You mean if he runs out of Adderall or whatever the fuck it is that he's snorting all the time?
He's on something at one point. I mean,
All the time.
people were saying
he's always
that he was
under
on steroids.
that heat thingy where like get the sun that suntan stuff.
But you
That's why he makes himself
gotta remember,
all the time. Trying to look like the fucking
It's
sun.
not Trump. It's
For real, he really looks like the sun.
Adderall and spray tan.
Okay, we're losing control. We're losing control of the talk. Not that I was doing this like a forum, but I think that Bill wants to say something. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bill. What happened?
I'll mute people while you talk, Bill.
So what happened?
It's gotta get out there. You know, this is not Donald Trump. He is just tip of the iceberg. The iceberg is underneath. These are others, our sisters, our friends who are voting for Donald Trump. The number of Black men who voted for Donald Trump went up this year. They also put him over the top. Would that be ironic? Black men put Donald Trump over the top. So those are the people we've got to talk to, our brothers, our sisters, our friends. We let them divide us. They will continue to do that. We've got to talk to those people, not the crazy, not the gun-toters, they're off their nuts, but all those other people who vote for Trump. We know them, they're our families. We can make a difference. Get out there, do it. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited.
No problem, Bill.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the round robin started again, but I will say this is that it is very true. Oh, what was that?
Just one more thing. I'm so sorry, and then we can continue.
Go on.
Mr. Bill, you are so right. Listen, yes, I did see some more Black people out, but what was really, really disappointing for me today that I found out, I'm Haitian. Oh my gosh, there was a big group of Haitians holding up the sign saying Haitians for Trump. I said, what? I'm so like literally embarrassed. And that's
I get you.
That's all I can say.
Well,
yeah, that hurts. I hear it. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I can say is that Bill is correct in that the
division is real. The division is real. That's why I did that poem Mad World, because the division is real. It's serious. It's
very real, and the one thing that you can even count as a positive is that I remember the saying from Noam Chomsky. There was a quote that Noam Chomsky said one time. It wasn't his quote, but he quoted someone else saying that government is the shadow under which big business operates. And Trump has shined a big light on how things actually work out there, and how in that how he expected things to work. And as much as he's just the tip of the iceberg, he also helped to get that iceberg steer. He steered the iceberg towards the boat of America. You know, he's he's probably in some crazy respects, he's the most accomplished president we've had in my lifetime, in that everything he's accomplished has been horrible. You know, in that case, he is incredibly accomplished. But one of the things he did accomplish was that he kind of made it impossible for us to hide behind ourselves and to deny anything that's happening. And the one thing I worry about is that shadow going to come over us again? And the challenge for us in 2021 is to figure out how to keep our own light on and how to keep more vigilant of these things. I'm open to suggestions if you are, if you have them.
I
But for
think
now-
most, oh, sorry.
What was that, Aaron?
I just think that mostly what Trump did was get a whole bunch of people that were bigoted, that had always swept their bigotry underneath the rug and made them come really wide open. And all the people that have been saying for years, like, oh, immigrants are taking our jobs, instead of blaming like the businesses that pay immigrants slave wages, you know, whatever. Instead of being pissed off at those people, they're pissed off. It's just people that are afraid of brown people are just like all of a sudden coming out and getting to like wave their disgusting beliefs in everybody's face. And he just gave a platform to, you know, absolute white supremacy. And I don't think that, you know, I think that people like to hide behind oh, but what Trump does for the economy. Most of the people that say that are not people that benefit from Trump's economy. The only people that benefit from Trump's economy are, you know, like Jeff Bezos and billionaires that don't have to actually pay taxes. I think it's really just, it's just out and out bigotry and absolutely nothing else. And it's sick and it's wrong. And you know, it's disappointing that in this election, not more people that are on the right side of things it's sickening that it's as close as it is, because it really
shouldn't be.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be. It really, you know, all of this was brought to the forefront. It's not, you can't really pretend that it's anything other than what it is at this point. Like
we just can't let anyone off the hook after this. We have to remember everyone who's complaining about this. That includes the media, that includes the entertainment industry, the so-called liberal entertainment industry that basically...
The biggest problem with the media is that they love reporting on the Trump show like it's a fucking reality show every single day. Like they can't stay away from him, and it's
entertainment.
They're making money off of it.
Entertainment, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And there's a DJ, you guys probably don't know him, but he is a real jackass, and he's a black man. I don't care. I'm dating a black man, that doesn't matter. So, but this particular black man, really, his name is DJ Academics. And so he's always focusing on like the negative of, you know, and he's a blogger. And he's always focusing on the negative of, you know, the celebrities and the artists and things like that. And a lot of them have children at home, and, you know, some have wives at home that are being affected by the things that he is putting online on the internet. And it's like, dude, first you're Jamaican on top of that. And it's like, come on, like, you're really, Jamaicans are usually lovable people. And it's like you're making yourself look bad. You're making all of the other Jamaican people look bad. Like
everything about everything that's been going on.
Like literally X them out of the community because it's just like, dude, you're stupid. Stop it. You're alone. That's probably why he never gets a wife anyway. He's not married. So
it's an interesting time. It's an interesting time. It's like everybody, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background is, everybody just like, for whatever reason, the fact that like it's okay that we have a reality show president, so now it's okay for everybody to just say all the god awful shit that they normally would keep to themselves, and now nobody keeps it to themselves. And it's like, all right, I understand like freedom of expression and everything, but there's certain shit like, man, enough.
And with that, let's do a little bit of a round robin, although this might be more cathartic, but let's try the round robin of poems. And I know that
we're all sad, Chad.
What's that? Oh, believe me, I know, man. I mean, it's getting to the point that though that I don't even want to even sound like I'm gloating. Like it's so weird by this point. I know it's like superstition. I'm like, if I actually had the idea for 2 stanzas for the Donald Trump Jesus poem epilogue. I want to write them down before I forget them, but I am afraid to.
Look, I was the last motherfucker on earth who was going to be like, yay, Joe Biden. But right now I'm like, oh, yay, pile of dog shit over Donald Trump any day. Like, anything, please.
I'm just so afraid I'm going to jinx it if I put my foot too forward towards the end, and that's speaking almost like an abuse patient, which I think is what a lot of us feel like we are.
Yeah, we got it. It's fine.
Anyway. Let's go. All right, that's the concluding argument. Aaron Reardon. Yeah, we got this. Okay, this has been.
Be right back.
This has been Meet the Press, Stone Soup. Here we go. And now I'm going to bring us to the first of the round robin. I was in some ways, quick confession. I wanted to keep this going just in case anyone else joined us, but I think we're gonna get everyone we got, and that's great because it's like we got perfect 9. It's like the Brady Bunch is here. And now Eric Tate is Alice on my video. So that seems right. Eric, if you want Crystal to join in, she's more than welcome to. Always, I tagged her too. But more importantly, let's get to the first person on the open mic. This is his second Stone Soup this week. If Biden wins tomorrow, I might do a third one. I just might just keep this going because this has been nice and cathartic. Plus I cut my hair, so I have a reason to actually be out in the have video done of me and be in the light. I told Pete, it's like I wrote online. I had alfalfa in the back, Doc Brown on the side, and like George Costanza on top. I had to change. I had to get I feel bad for doing it, but I haven't had a professional haircut since like April, since like early March. I've had a lot of unprofessional haircuts, and that really didn't work out too well for me. Anyway, let's welcome up the person who first kicked us off. Let's have him kick off this second round robin, and then we can all go home and write on our blogs. Mr. John Wesick.
Thank you. Here's a poem that's not about politics.
Yes.
It's called 3 Pounds of Flaxseed, and it's a reply to Philip Levine's poem called Philosophy Lesson. And it starts with an epigraph. What is the Buddha? 3 pounds of flaxseed, says Zen Master Tozan. The oak tree in the garden, says Zen Master Joshu. Robe stained with sweat, Zen Master Tozan toils in the storeroom. I take a burlap sack from his hands, ponder how mass warps clocks and meter sticks. Philip Levine stirs cream into his coffee as a waitress sets a plate on a Formica table. I sample the omelet but find no answer to his existential dilemma on my fork. Why is the work of the hand glorified and that of the mind disdained? Why was the monk hauling books throughout China scorned? Tear old Joshu's oak tree from the soil and turn its roots facing the sky. Discuss Gödel's incompleteness theorem with the gardener and Karl Popper with the grocer. Check in hand, the waitress asks if I'd like anything else. Yes, I'd like to know how closed time-like loops affect causality. What is the Buddha? A Feynman path integral. The Cauchy-Schwarz inequality.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. And where's that Philip? What book is that Philip Levine poem in?
I don't even remember now. He died a couple of years ago, and I was reading this, philosophy lesson, and basically philosophy is all bunk. Here's the eggs on my fork, and all that kind of stuff, And so
I'll have to go through my books because it sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
But
my smart ass reply to Philip Levine.
A very nice poem in and of itself. That is great. Let's keep the poetry going and go to Mr. David Miller.
Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a setup for this poem because near the top of it I make a reference to Edgar Guest, who is a don't know if anybody here has ever heard of Edgar Guest, but he was a sort of inspirational poet, very popular, first part of the 20th century. And he wrote what we now, might think of as like sort of self-help poetry, but he was very popular. Well, he wrote a poem called "It Couldn't Be Done," and basically the thing of the poem was that, you know, there's always people who say it can't be done, but if you're really on top of things, you'll be the one to do it, and you be that person. You know, I actually have it on another screen, but I won't exasperate you all by reading it. Well, I'll read a couple lines, you know. So this is the very beginning. I won't read the whole thing, believe me. Somebody said that it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he would be one who wouldn't say so till he tried. And so, of course, what you can imagine is at the end, whatever the thing is that people say couldn't be done was done. Okay, so that's it. The title of this poem is an actual newspaper headline. Pig brains revived after death. Newsday, April 18, 2019. Let's make like Edgar Guest. Mock the doubters, the downhearted millions who moan, it couldn't be done. Just start in to sing as you tackle the thing, for what after all has a man if not his excelsior? Pity the fellows who aim no higher than their fingernail parings. We gobble, we gorge on overcoming. Witness, single neurons, freed by us from slaughterhouse heads, re-sparked with purposeless twitches. That conquered, we next raise pig brain to swine mind, arouse the kernel of an abstract beast, a distilled animal. In short, a pig in out-of-body play of pure perception, minus feed, rut, suckle, nuzzle. Our ambitions will then set our tongues dripping for a full porcine Lazarus. Just wait. We can almost taste it. Thank you.
Damn, I'm glad you're still able to write, David, throughout all this.
I started that one like a year and a half ago, just revised it recently, so it's not entirely fresh.
Hey, still good to keep working on stuff. Props. Let's go to Mary Susan, if she's still on, if she didn't leave after hour 3 of my hot take.
I'm here. I was enjoying listening to you guys. There's other problems that go on as a result of the stuff that all you were talking about, and I have a lot of exposure to young teens, and you know, they get in trouble for bullying in school. What happens that a policeman comes to the school and they have to meet with them every week. Their parents have to come in, and their life is made a living hell over bullying. And sometimes it's just rites of passage stuff that kids are doing with each other, but they got to go through it. And then we have a president that gets up there and bullies everybody. Anyways, this poem was written after I talked with one of these kids, and I asked him what goes on. He said, well, you become irrelevant. Irrelevant. He did not know at first, but what's a kid really know anyhow? Being home alone, always alone, was way cool at first. At least his friends thought so, until their parents found out. Now they snicker at school, excluding him, taunting him, ridiculing, slowly exiling for being different. The stage was set, the play went on, until no friends were left, only daily harm. He didn't bother to tell anyone about the loneliness or his living hell. Well, only his Nana knew, but she was getting old. No one could see her either. They left her alone too, to watch the clock ticking her life away. He knew soon she'd be gone, how he'd wish she could run or climb the ocean rocks or learn to pull a trigger. Then they could make the world safe for her, safe for him. Maybe then they would all remember his Nana. Maybe then they would know it is not Nana or him who is irrelevant, but them. you know,
Mary.
I had to work with this kid and help him to get some of his anger out. And so I wrote this to be able to deal with it myself, because it's awful hard watching kids go through these things. And that's part of what's going on with our culture and our society too.
Well, thank you so much for reading tonight and joining us. I hope you come back next week, which should be the regular time, 7:30 on Wednesdays, or 7 o'clock on Wednesdays. And now once more, for something completely different. It's tea time with Bill and Bill again.
Aw, Chad, that is so sweet of you. Oh, tea time with Bill and Bill. You know, I actually do a performance of An Evening with President Madison. You might have seen my invitation for it. You come into my, I may have a party, I give you tea, and just be entertaining. There's nothing more entertaining than teaching. I have my computer science student tomorrow, and then I've got another history student next week, and our classes the week after that. So that is sort of the real light part of my day. It's really intense, teaching over Zoom, trying to really kids involved and enthusiastic over this medium. It's worth it. And what is my life worth if not to help the future generation? My father and I would read this one together. You're old, Father William, the young man said. Hair has turned very old, and yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think your age is right? And now my father would reply. In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I feared it might in the brain. But now that I'm perfectly sure I have none, I do it again and again. You are old, said the youth, as I mentioned before, and you have grown most uncommonly fat. Yet you turned a back somersault in at the door. Pray, what was the reason of that? In my youth, said the sage as he shook his gray locks, all my limbs very supple. By use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box. Allow me to sell you a couple? You're old, said the youth, and your jaw is weak for anything tougher than suet, and yet you devour the goose, bones, and beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it? In Moose, said his father, I looked through the law and argued each case with my wife, and the muscular strength that it gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life. You are old, said the youth, one would hardly suppose that your eyes steady, yet you balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever? I have answered 3 questions, that is enough, said his father. Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to this stuff? Be off, or I'll kick you downstairs.
Hey, old favorite.
And my father was a Father William, of course.
Nice. Thanks again, Bill. Let's bring ourselves back to Ethan Mackler. There he is.
All right, unmute, camera going. All right, for this round robin, I would like to do an improvisation on bass, which will then be followed by an accompaniment to a recording I found of George Orwell's final interview. He's talking about 1984, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the audio. Don't have the greatest equipment here.
1984 could. This is the direction the world is going in at the present time. In our world, there will be no emotions except fear, rage, triumph, and self-abasement. The sex instinct will be eradicated. We shall abolish the orgasm. There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always, there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face forever. The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
Yeah. Whoa.
Ethan, I gotta tell you, we had
really
technical
good.
difficulties in the beginning of you doing these sessions months ago, but you have eliminated them, and that was amazing.
Could you hear the
Perfectly. Yeah.
Okay.
Great job, man.
Oh, yeah.
And now let's keep the momentum going and stop doing the tech talk, and let's bring up Blackbird. Who, again, our reminder, has to unmute herself.
Give me a second, gosh.
Well, I wasn't criticizing you.
Golly.
You weren't around when this change happened, so I was just reminding you.
I am aware. All right. All right, one moment while I get myself together here. Oh yeah, I'd like to announce, I don't know if you guys yet, but I will, for the new people that I have not seen, and because I haven't seen you guys in a while, I have a new love. Yay. So we've been together for 6 months now, I believe. Yeah, for 6 months now, and it's going well. It's going great. It's going great. All right. Still trying to adjust being this, new girlfriend after 4 years of being in a relationship with my son's father. So, and I was engaged to that asshole. But it's cool. It's cool. I don't hate him. It just I'm just happy he's gone. He's gone. All right, so this poem is called Love. Once upon a time, I thought I knew everything about love. I thought it was all about being there for him, loving him, caring for him, being honest with him through the good times and through the bad times. No, it goes deeper than that. It's long hours of wrestle, soaked with sweat, out of breath, looking at the mess while in the middle of a conversation talking about our future together, building together. 2 months of lonely travels, 2 years in a solitary confinement, dreaming about him, turning into nightmares when I wake up and don't see him, laying right next to me. As time goes by, with his mood swings, his fictitious laughter, with his anger and insecurities in the back and forth of if he wanted to be with me or not, if he even trusted in me or not, I learned patience. I learned that when a man wants to be with you, he utters the words in your ear saying, I love you, showing you that he loves you by picking up the broken pieces off of the ground that was left of you, molding them together to become a great masterpiece, to being a better reflection
of him. And if I am my reflection of him, then I must be fly, because his light, it shines so bright, I wouldn't lie. Oh. We both learned patience. True love is patience. Yeah. So this poem was actually written when I was in a relationship with my son's father. So, but I will say the last part, we both learn love. We both learn patience. True love is patience. I can say that is relevant and true for the guy that I am with now. So that's it. That's it.
I'm glad you have that with the guy that you're with now because you're awesome. Love you.
Thank you.
Very sweet. Thank you, Blackbird. And actually, don't mute yourself yet, Aaron. Looks like you're up. You can't say you were you thought you'd take longer. There's only 9 of us. And I did all my Jesus poems too.
You mean I gotta do it again?
Come on. Come on. There must have been someone who bumped into you on the red line that you wrote like a 10 minutes.
You know, that's the thing is like my Facebook status updates are so much more interesting than my poems.
I disagree. Usually,
Yeah,
usually your poems blend the two.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. No, like all my shit is really old, so I'm sorry for that. I'm like, wow, I'm a different person now than I am from everything that I'm reading. But I can give you another one. Hold on, give me a second.
Are you flipping through one of your photocopied chapbooks?
I am kind of.
That's awesome.
It's one of my
I still have those.
really old ones because they're all really old because I haven't actually published anything in over 10 years.
You published something with us in Oddball a few years back.
Yeah, but it was over 10 years ago. We old, Chad. You forget that. We're old.
I've only been part of Oddball for 7 years. You know?
All right, fine.
This is senility talking.
7 years, 10 years, potato. Anyway. This is called a Whiskey and Chrysanthemum. I hope it doesn't suck. All right. Now I know it, the lonely squeal of neglected militant mothers, the shrieks of a widow as she lies in wait for death, slow uncorking of that old familiar brown bottle blues. You drool, you lose. And I'm too tired to talk about it, and he's sick to death of holes and half-truths. It's trying, all of this, trying. Settle into the groove of a new bar stool, carved to fit the curvature of your cheesy pockmarked ass because the sofa got too depressing. The cushions got weak, too vulnerable to your attacks, and anyway, you'll be home before they even know you're gone. And you should be used to this, fighting separate secret wars, sowing disaster in the seam of your sweaty blue t-shirt, carrying only carrion. You're landlocked, and he knows it. The picture on the dresser reflects a time that never really happened, when you were happy, when we were happy. All sickness lost, all doubt decimated, obliterated, before I ruined you. Settle down, settle up. Your mouth has just begun to rot. Just tell the barman that Bukowski sent you, hence the black around your eye. And sitting here without him feels almost like adultery, minus the rush to the hushed-lipped lust years ago when someone cared enough to make you an other woman. Under this cosmic microscope, shreds of jealousy, whipping, wind chime zealotry, I always hated clang, clang, clang. And while I twitch, blush, sip, pretend not to care, and while I despair, inward, silent, tripping over my shoes, I guess that tightrope had to loosen up to a noose one day. Best to assess the damages before they happen. Every paranoid knows that. Ever faithful am I, ever waiting, ever softly. I've always been faithful. He just doesn't realize the agony. That agony came first and sprayed his seed like dandelion weeds across my treeless tundra. Hot whiskey on the lips, hotter than it's been for days and months and New Year's. Knowing he'll be tired of me when he gets home. He'll be tired when he sees me bleeding chrysanthemum. Gracias, senores and senoritas.
We gotta get you back on a. We gotta get you back on the live open mic when all this shit is done with, in sometime in 2023. I think we'll
I
both be
need
still
to
alive
write
by
new
then.
shit.
You got until 2023. Come on.
You know, I've been writing stuff down. I just haven't, you know, I have the full 6-pack. I just don't have the plastic thing that holds it all together.
I'll send you a cooler.
Oh, thanks.
Just put it in a brown paper bag.
Shucks.
There you go. Brown paper bag.
All right. Thanks, kid.
Nice. We're gonna go to.
No, I usually drink it out of a paper bag, so that makes sense.
There you go. We're gonna bring up, we're gonna go over to Eric Tate now, if he is ready.
Yes. This one's kind of embarrassing, but I'll read it anyway. And probably no one will want to come over to my house after this. A timeshare with the roaches. After not having seen a roach in the house all day, it's as though they think they're honoring an uneasy truce, whereby night falls, they get the run of the place. As the sun goes down on another day, roaches scurry from the shadows, emerge from whatever hovel, a few at a time at first, with more following when they're satisfied it's safe. Until soon, the kitchen floor is covered with them, and I retire to the bedroom so I don't have to see them. When I wake in the middle of the night, make my way to the kitchen for a glass of water, I flip the light on to find this is their time. A chaotic network of roaches in every stage of development, indignantly scrambling for cover, many running towards me in their confusion, is reminiscent of the scene in The Mummy where the scarabs converge on Brendan Fraser from the underground tunnels of the pyramids. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, I've had my roach living period too.
I've had my roaches too, okay? Especially down south, as well as in California. Listen.
Have you ever moved into Have you ever moved into a new place and there aren't any roaches, but there'll be a chip on the wall, like a chip in the paint on the wall, and every time you turn the light switch on, you're expecting the chip of paint to move?
Oh God.
But this is so new to me. I've never lived in a place where there's been any roaches.
The one thing, there's two things you deal with living in Boston: rats and roaches.
And I have rats.
And I had
we've had one. We've had one.
No, more than one.
Oh, one that we caught.
Damn.
And I'm a property manager, so I see this all the time. So trying to catch them in our own home is really, really hard.
You have a follow-up roach poem for us tonight, Crystal?
I wish I had thought of that, but it was so long, so I will do that next week, Chad.
That's your assignment. You'll be here next week and read.
Absolutely.
I've been missing you.
I've missed you guys too.
Stay well.
You know, I actually, if you willing to indulge me, I actually have a roach poem.
Why not?
Which I'm quickly looking up. Yeah, hang on. Let me. I gotta find it.
Say it. Do it.
I know. I gotta find it. It's online someplace. It shouldn't take too long. It was in Boston Literary Magazine, I think, in the September issue. So hang on. Let me just see if I can find it. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Here we go. It's not a very long poem, and this is from my very first years in Boston and my first apartment. So this is late 70s. and it's also my my first marriage. So me and my ex, when we were, as the title of the poem has, young homemakers, we had a set of scant houseplants, modest greeneries for the stolid sills, windows with obstructed view of a stale, traffic-hemmed brook. Why not pick up the dowdy digs with little friends of chlorophyll? In the kitchen, cardboard box of rocks placed with care for future plantings. And the roaches homed at that furtive nest, crawlers uncovered with the first pulled pebble. The kitchen floor was frenzy, skitter, squash. Our bundle of dried Indian corn festooned the apartment door at the bleary hallway's ignored end. Why not cheer the autumn equinox in a place you never wished to live? The solstice came, and so we squirreled it deep on a closet shelf against next year. And long before harvest time came back around, the roaches swarmed to their feed to cob husks and niblets in the dark. Yeah. Like, early 20s, first apartment, trying to figure out how to be an adult, right? Trying to figure out how to make things work. And it's like, oh no! Back to Mr. Bill again, right? Anyway, yeah, good.
Celebrate the moments of your life. Oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better.
I'm glad. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we did these things to cultivate the roaches on purpose without even knowing we were doing them. It's like, oh yeah, we've got this dried Indian corn. Let's put it in the closet so we can get it out next year and hang it up on the door again. It's like, what?
I don't know much, but I know I love you, and that may be the fabric of our lives.
Oh my God. What that
I've had residents that sing to the roaches too to try and ward them away. So
Wow.
that's a pretty good idea.
Oh my God. Okay, so everyone next week bring a roach poem, and that's everyone's assignment next week. That way we can either.
I don't have a roach poem. I had a bed bug poem, but I read that last time, so I didn't read it tonight. So
write a new roach poem. Do roaches versus.
I only have bed bugs.
Do roaches versus bed bugs, which can be a metaphor.
I have a bed bug story as well. I'd never again, ever again. Oh.
Honey, if you live in Massachusetts, you have a bed bug story.
I'm not from here. I'm from Florida.
Oh, well.
I have those stories.
Yeah, I think so.
My first apartment and my apartment with my Jamaican mother. Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yep.
Wow. Okay. We're gonna end this off tonight with Blackbird has to do an encore, and given that our penultimate closer is off tonight, probably resting after pamphleting and leafleting all throughout the election, I'm sure. We love you, James. We love you, Jan. Let's welcome up Isabel, aka the Blackbird, to send us home tonight. And hopefully unmute herself. Yes, I'm messing with you.
All right. Woo. This is also an old poem. Okay. And this is about I'm a Black woman, yes. So this poem is talking about Black women, my opinion of how some of us are. Not all of us. Like you know, we don't just like not all you guys represent Trump. Don't all label us as Black women. We're not all like that, for sure. And I love and honor Eric Tate's woman, for sure. I like her. All right, so one moment, sorry. Unbreakable love. Black women talk the talk, but they don't always walk the walk. We are so wrapped up in our emotions, we let this ball of confusion disturb our spirit instead of listening to the Lord's words. Love thyself as I have loved you, said the Lord. Be wise, be fruitful. Black woman, you are here to birth nations, so multiply your confidence and strengthen your determination to lead you to a straight and narrow path with your Black men, and to an addition of a new soul growing inside of you. But be careful and subtract the trap of abortion. Life is not a trap, birth control is, when its purpose is to destroy the birth of a new kingdom. Margaret Sanger's planned way of Black parenthood is extermination of our future Black kings and queens. Black women, imagine if our mind and souls were to be aligned with God, only to find out we all have God in us. Like God, we are goddesses. Imagine if we were to add just a little bit more peace into the equation within ourselves, add a little more love to our Black men, subtract all this hatred and insecurities, all this envy, nonsense, fighting for no reason, just love him. For you see, we are the ones that they slide into when they're feeling the lowest of lows. They're in heaven, swimming into your ocean of your thoughts, wondering if you still love him. The world has broken his heart to pieces already. All he needs is you to help him put it back together. And sisters, you will know when the Black man loves you. He'd want to save you from yourself. Just let him. So please understand, a Black woman plus a Black man multiplies our kingdom, which will equal to a true bond, a family. Thank you. And I have to say one more thing, though.
Okay.
I was actually really, before I started dating Black men, I was actually dating white men. I was actually dating white guys. I was into white guys, really. I was into white guys, but the two that I was dating were obviously not into me. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go to Black men.
I guess it worked out.
It did. It definitely did. It definitely did. And I have one right now, so great. And he's in between. So it's like, I mean, he's not like, I don't know if he's mixed with white, but he's light skinned and he does have white people in his family too. So it works out.
Oh my. Thank you, Miss Bird, and thanks to
Thank you, Chad. Thank you,
everyone out there tonight. It would be nice to say I have a feature planned for next week, but I couldn't get a feature at all the last couple of weeks because no one wanted to feature before the vote. No one wanted to even try that.
Wow.
No one was sure how depressed they were going to be yet, so they needed to like assess the situation first.
Yeah, and if you like, what kind of set would you put together? Like set A or set B, you know?
Yeah, I can imagine. But I do know of someone who would probably have the same set regardless of who wins. So I might ask them, but I don't want to give anything away now. But until then, it's another night of Stone Soup. If Biden wins tomorrow, I might have one more. We'll see. We might have one more open mic, in which case everyone has to bring a roach poem or a bedbug poem or roaches versus bedbugs. And we'll figure, yeah, tell me about it. Bedbugs are.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do if my memory will go back to all that. I would have to listen to Eric's poem again in order to get that memory back again, for real.
Well, the video should be up, if not tonight. Video will be up either tonight or tomorrow morning, so keep a watch out for it.
I also have an earwig poem.
Huh?
I also have an earwig poem.
There you go. Oh my God! Thank God I'm sober, so I can keep it rein us in.
Go roaches!
So until
Oh my God. Yeah.
So we're going to end the meeting now and wave to everyone outside of Facebook and to our future YouTube page viewers, all 2 of them, and have yourself a good night.
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves. Take care of somebody else, and don't keep on reloading the election map screen too much.
All of you have good night. Good night to yourselves. And
Yeah.
oh, sorry, I'm a little
Night,
buzzed.
Night, David, John, Eric, Jim, Bob, Billy Joe, Blackbird, and the rest of you. Take care.
Bye.
The show's over. See you next time.
Bye.